Welcome to English Unleashed. I'm so glad you're here. Together, we'll take simple steps every day to build your confidence and fluency in English. Let's get started. What if I told you that you don't need perfect grammar, a big vocabulary, or hours of study to speak English confidently? All you need is a few simple steps and the courage to begin today. Take a moment and think about what it really means to begin something new. Often, we imagine that progress must be big to matter. We tell ourselves that we need long hours, perfect focus, or special talent to improve. But the truth is much quieter than that, and much kinder. Real progress begins with something very small and very simple. When you choose to practice English for just 5 or 10 minutes each day, you are doing something powerful. You are not just learning words, you are building a habit. And habits, when treated with care, become a natural part of who you are. You see, the mind does not grow through pressure. It grows through gentle repetition. When you sit with your learning, even for a short time, and give it your full attention, your brain begins to recognize this moment as important. It starts to hold on to the sounds, the meanings, the rhythm of the language. And slowly, without any force, it begins to change. There is no need to rush. In fact, rushing often creates stress, and stress makes learning harder. But when you keep your practice small and steady, something very different happens. You feel calm, you feel in control, and most importantly, you feel capable. Think of it like planting a seed. You would not expect it to grow into a tree in a single day. You would give it a little water, a little sunlight, and then you would allow time to do its work. Your daily practice is just like that. Each small effort is a drop of water. Each quiet moment of learning is a bit of sunlight. And even if it seems like nothing is happening at first, something is changing deep inside. So do not wait for the perfect time or the perfect mood. Just begin, gently. Sit for a few minutes, speak a few words, listen with care. That is enough, more than enough. Because when you show up every day, even in the smallest way, you are telling yourself, I am learning, I am growing. And over time, those small moments will come together and create something strong, steady, and lasting within you. Now, let us gently talk about something that many learners feel but do not always express: the fear of speaking. It often sits quietly in the mind, whispering, "What if I say it wrong?" or "What if someone laughs?" And because of that fear, many people choose silence, even when they have words inside them waiting to come out. But I want you to understand this with great clarity. Speaking is not something you master before you begin. Speaking is something you learn by doing, slowly, imperfectly, and with courage. When a child first learns to speak, they do not wait for perfect grammar. They do not stop themselves because a word might be wrong. They simply try. They speak, they stumble, they repeat, and little by little, their voice becomes stronger. You are allowed to learn in the same way. Mistakes are not a sign that you are failing. They are a sign that you are participating in your own growth. Each mistake carries a lesson within it. It shows you what to adjust, what to improve, and what to try again. And over time, those small corrections begin to shape your confidence. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you may end up waiting for a very long time. But if you allow yourself to speak now, just as you are, something important begins to happen. Your fear starts to lose its power. Your voice begins to feel more familiar to you. So when you speak, do it gently. Do not rush your words. Let them come out in their own time. Even a simple sentence, spoken with effort, carries great value. I am learning. I will try. These are not just sentences, they are steps forward. And if a mistake happens, let it pass quietly. Do not hold on to it. Do not judge yourself. Simply notice it and continue. Because confidence does not come from never making mistakes. It comes from knowing that you can continue even when mistakes happen. Let us take a quiet moment to understand something very important, something that can make your learning feel lighter, easier, and more natural. You do not need difficult words to speak well. Many learners believe that using big, advanced vocabulary will make them sound more confident, more impressive, but often it does the opposite. When the words are too complex, the mind becomes tense, you begin to hesitate, to overthink, and the flow of your speech becomes slow and uncertain. But when you choose simple words, something changes. Your thoughts become clearer, your sentences become smoother, and your voice begins to move with more ease. Simple language is not weak language, it is strong because it is clear. When you say, "I am happy," or "I understand," or "I need help," you are expressing real meaning in a direct and honest way. And that is the true purpose of communication, not to impress, but to connect. Think about everyday conversations. Most people do not use difficult words when they speak. They choose words that are easy to understand, words that feel natural. And that's exactly where your confidence begins to grow, in that space of simplicity. When you practice with simple words, you give your mind time to adjust. You allow yourself to think, to form sentences, and to speak without pressure. And slowly, as your comfort increases, your vocabulary will grow on its own, step by step, without force. There is no need to rush into complexity. Just like learning to walk comes before running, simple words come before advanced ones. And that order is not only natural, it is necessary. So when you speak, choose ease over difficulty. Choose clarity over confusion. Let your words be gentle and familiar to you. Even if they are small, they carry meaning. Even if they are basic, they build your foundation. And as you continue speaking in this simple way, you will begin to notice something quiet but powerful. Your hesitation will fade, your confidence will rise, and your voice will begin to feel like your own. Let us gently bring our attention to something very close to you, your own daily life. Often, when people try to learn English, they look far away for topics. They search for difficult ideas, complicated subjects, or unfamiliar situations. And without realizing it, they make the learning process heavier than it needs to be. But the most natural place to begin is right where you are. Your day, your routine, your thoughts, your feelings, these are already known to you. You do not have to struggle to understand them because you live them every day. And that is what makes them so powerful for practice. When you speak about your daily life, you remove one layer of difficulty. You already know what you want to say. Now your mind can gently focus on how to say it in English. You might begin with something very simple. In the morning, you can say, "I wake up early," or "I drink tea." As you move through your day, you can quietly describe your actions. "I am working," "I am eating," "I am resting." These sentences may feel small, but they are deeply meaningful because they are real. They are connected to your life. And when language is connected to real experience, it becomes easier to remember, easier to repeat, and easier to use again. You can also speak about how you feel. "I am happy today." "I feel tired." "I am a little worried." These simple expressions allow you to connect your language with your emotions, and that connection makes your speech more natural, more human. There is no need to perform, no need to impress. Just gently observe your day and give it words. Even if you speak quietly, even if no one else is listening, it still matters. You are building a bridge between your thoughts and your voice. And as you continue this practice each day, something begins to settle within you. Speaking no longer feels like a task. It begins to feel like a part of your life. Your words start to come more easily because they are rooted in something familiar. So stay close to your own world. Let your daily life guide your learning, because in those simple, ordinary moments, your confidence is quietly growing. Let us now slow down and gently focus on the way we listen. Listening is not just hearing words. It is a quiet act of attention, a moment where you allow the language to enter your mind softly and naturally. And when you combine listening with repeating, you create a powerful path for learning that feels almost effortless. When you hear someone speak English, notice the rhythm of their voice. Notice how the words connect, how the sounds rise and fall. Do not rush to understand everything at once. Just listen, calmly, patiently, as if you are becoming familiar with a new kind of music. Then, very gently, begin to repeat what you hear, not with pressure, not with fear, but with curiosity. Let your voice follow the sound. Even if it is not perfect, even if it feels unfamiliar, that is perfectly all right. What matters is that you are trying. You see, repetition is not about copying without thought. It is about training your mind and your mouth to work together. Each time you repeat a word or a sentence, your brain begins to recognize the pattern. Your tongue becomes more comfortable with the movement, and slowly your pronunciation begins to improve in a natural and steady way. There is no need to hurry this process. You can take one short sentence, listen to it again and again, and repeat it a few times. Let it settle within you. Feel the shape of the words as you speak them. This quiet practice builds a deep familiarity, one that stays with you over time. And as you continue, you may notice something gentle but important. Words that once felt difficult begin to feel easier. Sounds that once seemed unclear begin to make sense. Your listening becomes sharper and your speaking becomes smoother. So allow yourself to learn in this calm and patient way. Listen with care, repeat with kindness, and trust that with each small effort you are shaping your voice, step by step, into something clearer, stronger, and more confident. Let us take a quiet moment and speak about patience. Not the kind of patience that feels forced, but the gentle kind, the kind that allows growth to happen in its own time. When you are learning English, it is very easy to look for quick results. You may hope that in a few days or a few weeks, everything will become clear and easy. And when that does not happen, you may begin to feel discouraged, as if you are not doing enough or not learning fast enough. But learning does not work that way. It follows its own natural rhythm, slow, steady, and deeply personal. Each time you practice, something small is changing inside you. A word becomes more familiar, a sentence becomes easier to understand, a sound becomes clearer on your tongue. These changes may feel very small, almost invisible, but they are real, and over time they begin to gather and grow. So it is important, very important, to be kind to yourself during this process. If you make a mistake, do not let it trouble you. If you forget a word, do not become upset. These moments are not signs of failure, they are simply part of learning.
Just like a child learning to walk may stumble many times, you are allowed to take your time, to pause, and to try again. When you treat yourself with patience, something beautiful happens. Your mind becomes calm, your confidence begins to rise, not from pressure, but from acceptance. You start to enjoy the process instead of rushing toward the result. And in that calm space, learning becomes easier. You begin to notice your progress in quiet ways. A sentence you once struggled with now feels natural. A conversation that once seemed difficult now feels possible. These are the signs of true growth, steady and lasting. So allow yourself to move at your own pace. There is no race here, no need to compare yourself with anyone else. Your journey belongs to you, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. Just keep going, calmly, steadily, one simple step at a time. As we come to the end of this journey together, take a quiet moment and reflect on what you have discovered. Learning English is not about rushing forward or reaching perfection at once. It is about showing up each day with small effort, steady practice, and a calm, open heart. Each simple word you speak, each small sentence you try, each moment you choose to continue, even with hesitation, all of it matters more than you may realize. These are the steps that slowly build your confidence, not in a loud or sudden way, but in a quiet, lasting way. You have learned that it is okay to start small, to speak without fear, to use simple words, to practice through your daily life, to listen and repeat with care, and most importantly, to be patient with yourself. These are not just methods, they are gentle habits that shape your growth over time. So as you move forward, do not look for big changes overnight. Instead, trust the small steps you are taking. Trust the effort you are making today. Because every day you practice, you are becoming more comfortable, more capable, and more confident than before. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, you will notice that you are speaking more freely, understanding more clearly, and expressing yourself with ease. Until then, keep going, calmly, steadily, one simple step at a time.